Joining me now for more on this from Washington, D.C. is Ben Leo, host of The Late Show Live on GB News. Ben, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining me on the show this evening. Can you firstly give us a sense of the mood in the US more than a day after Charlie Kirk was murdered?
Oh, Danica, good evening. Good evening to you guys down under. Hope you're doing okay. Look, it's been a pretty whirlwind 24 hours. It's a nation mourning, but it's quite clear now that it's a nation divided as well. The reaction has been of sadness, of disbelief, and if you were unfortunate enough to stumble across the pretty graphic videos going around of Charlie Kirk's heinous murder yesterday, it's of utter shock. I mean, it's a video I wish I never saw, and it's going to be imprinted on my brain for a very long time. But also on the flip side, unfortunately, as maybe you guys down under have seen today, it's also a nation that is pretty much at tenterhooks. We're at boiling point when it comes to the political divide. Tensions are so high that we've lost, well, I say we, the nation, part of the nation, especially the left, the radical lunatic left, have completely lost their minds and all sense of reality when it comes to marking the death of not just a political commentator, not just somebody who was credited with getting Donald Trump elected and really galvanizing the youth vote in America. Forget all that. That's just Charlie Kirk's identity and persona. This was a loving husband and a father of two. And the very facts that many, many people here, this side of the pond, and indeed all across the world, cannot for one day shut their gobs and pay respect to somebody who's lost their lives and maybe say a prayer for the two poor babies who have been left behind. No, no, no. They want to get out on the streets, celebrate the death of Charlie Kirk because he may have said something they didn't agree with. So it's a nation divided, and it's also, I'd argue, a very sick nation on the other side as well, who can't bring themselves to pay respects to a fellow human being at the end of the day who was so callously murdered in cold blood.
Exactly. I mean, it's been a disgrace, to be quite honest, to see the left's reaction to this. I mean, you point out, this is a man who leaves behind a wife and two little children, and the left can't just stop for 1 minute and think about how they would feel if they were in the same situation. It's a disgrace. Now, I want to talk about this because you interviewed Charlie Kirk on your show, and I want to play to our audience a bit of what he told you. Have a listen.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech. Islam does not believe in freedom of religion. And Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West.
Ben, listening to that interview, it got me thinking. I mean, the left are always warning about the, extreme right-wing views, the extreme right. And as Charlie shared in your interview, these views, they're not extreme. That, having concerns about mass migration or, that there are only two genders. But the left don't want to have these conversations, do they? They're obsessed with labelling anyone who doesn't agree with them as extremists.
Yeah, these ideas of, oh my goodness me, how radical is it that a nation wants to protect their borders? I mean, something that 10 years ago, you'd ask any random person in the street who wasn't really politically engaged or watched the news, that's a normal thing to think just 10 years ago. Same with mutilating children at the altar of gender ideology, or even law and order, defunding the police. These are absolutely insane ideas that I'd say, 10 years ago, most normal people would be on board with. They weren't extreme views. He's also accused Charlie of being sort of homophobic or something like that because he said that, he prioritizes the nuclear family structure. Again, these are just strong Christian values. Who would have thought that being a Christian is so controversial these days? You talk about migration and you say, okay, you're carrying a placard saying refugees welcome, open borders. That's fine. We've got a housing crisis. Where do you think they may go? Very simple questions. And you can see their brain going a million miles an hour in real time because their arguments come apart at the seams. And when that happens, because they've been brought up with a life of, I argue, being never being told, no, mummy, can I have another biscuit? No, mummy, can I please have a new bike? Of course you can, yes. Never being told no. They've grown up through an education system where they've been spoiled. They've never been exposed to other ideas. And the very moment somebody asks a very simple question, which may challenge their view of the world, their brains explode. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, if you have very, very disturbed individuals, they turn to violence.
Yeah, exactly, like we've seen, you know, over the last 24 hours. And how's the hypocrisy, Ben? You know, Democrats, including former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, they kneeled for over 8 minutes on a marble floor back in 2020 for George Floyd. I mean, this vision, you can't make it up. Yet the Dems could not even pause for a minute's silence for Charlie Kirk. Have a look at this.
Please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. Let's. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The House will be in order.
I just find it extraordinary, Ben, that even after somebody whose views that they don't agree with has been murdered in the most horrific of circumstances, none of them can show compassion. What does this say about the Democrats?
I mean, what does it say about the Democrats? What does it say about the left in general? I mean, they, for some reason, the left, Danica, 15 years ago used to be, you know, left of centre. They have gone so far left. There's a reason President Donald Trump calls them the lunatic radical left. They've lost all sense of humanity, a point I touched at the start of our conversation. And I think it's got a lot to do with faith, actually. I'm not massively religious. I got married in a church. I believe in Jesus Christ. I wouldn't say I'm a Christian, though. Maybe some people would say I am. But I think they've got no concept of their own consciousness, their own divinity and what it means to be on this earth. I think they lack human empathy and human connection. But when we are living in a day and age where the left can't debate and they resort to violence, is to carry on doing what Charlie Kirk did. He called himself the happy warrior. He debated these people. He shared ideas. He maybe opened their mind to the possibility that they may be wrong or there may be other answers to their questions. He did it with a smile, with a wry smile, sometimes with a joke. He never tried to make his opponents feel stupid or belittled, and that's what he did best. And people couldn't handle that. When you kill them with kindness, they can't handle it. And I'd argue it's the demon inside, especially if you're a God-loving man like Charlie Kirk was. The demon inside them simply can't handle it. But the best thing we can do is to continue the fight with a smile, prove them wrong with ideas and debates, and never stoop to their level of violence and evil.
Absolutely, I agree. We've got to keep talking about these issues because in the end, evil never wins, no matter what. Ben Leo, you're absolutely wonderful. I so appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining me on the show this evening.
You're welcome. Catch you soon.